Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, rifters of all ages, we proudly bring to you episode 158 of Static Rift here on the Go Network. It's going to be a very fantastic episode tonight. It's very stormy out there. If you live in the New England, I want to say the whole Northeast, you're in some snowy rain situations. So, yeah, sit tight. You know, if you have a fireplace, warm up and listen to our soothing voices as we talk about the latest in nerdy news. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into all things nerdy today because that's what we do here at Static Rift on the Go Network. We're going to have Mitch Hallock on the show. It's been a while since we've had him on. He's been rifling out some crazy guests for Terrificon this year. So we're going to get him on to talk about that. We're going to talk with him about the new Hulu shows, the potential of maybe getting the old Netflix shows on Hulu. We're going to find out who his Batman is, who he'd want to play Batman. Then we're going to talk about whatever other nerdy news we've missed since the last time he's been on, because it's been a while since we've had a nerd smorgasbord of stuff with Mitch, because the last time he was on we talked Stan Lee. We had a memoriam for Stan Lee, so we didn't really talk current events in the nerdy world, but tonight we will. So we're going to have definitely a lot of fun, a lot of comic-related things, comic-related movies, television shows, and comic books themselves, and Terrificon stuff. So it's definitely going to be a fantastic show. So as we start every show, we talk about what we consumed. So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Oh, fantastic, Dimitri.
Nice little change of pace. So I've been getting into some Hulu shows.
Okay.
I watched a show called Future Man, which is produced by Seth Rogen, so you know it's going to be immature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's 2 seasons of it. It's fairly quick. 20 minutes an episode, 25 minutes an episode, 30 minutes. And it's actually starring, what's his name, Josh Hutcherson from The Hunger Games.
Oh, I think I saw something about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. It's pretty good. It's a time travel science fiction show. It's pretty cool. It's very bloody, gory, very adult. There's a whole mature audience warning before the show and everything, sprinkled with Seth Rogen's comedy, which is just.
Is he the Future Man?
No, he's not.
No. Josh. Oh,
Hutcherson. Yes.
Okay.
He's the main character. Yeah. So it's pretty funny. The good thing is the adult jokes, or Seth Rogen style adult jokes, are just sprinkled on. It's not like they're everywhere. But it's a cool, because they explore the concept of time travel and like alternate realities and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
So the ruined career of Haley Joel Osment's been revived by the show.
Yes, Haley Joel Osment has come back from the dead, and he looks like he rather enjoyed himself off screen.
Is he still large and in charge?
Kind of, sort of, a little bit.
Smacking down the cannolis from the south.
He definitely has.
South
yes.
Boston.
He definitely has.
He's probably somewhere.
He's enjoyed his
LA.
downtime. Let's put it that way. And he's still a good actor, as he always has been.
Was he a good actor though?
Okay, as a kid, I think
he was.
I think most kid or child actors are pretty good because
I'm trying to think of what he did.
Even a bad child actor is still technically a good actor because they're a child. So you can't hold them against the same skill level as an adult.
He'll always be known as Sora at this point.
And they do make a lot of jokes about his previous movies from when he was a kid.
Oh, well, there you go.
So there's a lot of those like Easter eggs and little hints.
Is he? He is the voice of Sora, isn't he?
He is. Yeah.
Yes, he is.
All right. I guess. All right.
So, I mean, that's a nice gig.
I should take it back.
Yeah.
I guess he's good.
That's not a bad gig.
But yeah, it's a good show. If you're okay with the random Seth Rogen humor every once in a while. But other than that, it's pretty good because, like I said, it explores the science fiction concepts, time travel, alternate realities, kind of, what happens if you change the past kind of thing. So it's pretty cool.
Not bad.
Yeah,
I
it goes
guess
by pretty quickly. 30 minutes an episode. There's only 2 seasons. I think it's like 12 episodes or 13 episodes each. So
I guess he's kind of been in a lot of stuff. For some reason, I just remembered him from I See Dead People.
Well, yeah.
well, yeah, it's his biggest role.
But he was in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I think he's been holding it down okay. I mean, nothing groundbreaking, obviously, but, you know,
Yeah.
he's doing all right.
How about you, Jason? What did you,
I watched the Grammys on Sunday night.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, man.
Well, okay, so usually I would feel the same way. Usually I watch the Grammys mostly just to kind of make fun of it. Be like, wow, I'm so glad I don't listen to any of this trash. This year's Grammys was actually really good because all of the old guard, as I call them, wasn't there.
Oh,
So,
really?
like, there was no Taylor Swift, there was no Beyonce, there was no Kanye, no Ariana Grande, none of those stupid, like, just mindless trash musicians. They were not there. For once, it was actually a Grammys where they, like, featured the sort of, like, young up-and-coming talent, especially in, like, hip-hop and rap. So it was just different. It had a different vibe to it this year. It was sort of like
It was more modern.
yeah, it felt more geared towards like millennials and more like, hey, here's like the young rising stars, not, you know, not Taylor Swift
Here's
who
the
comes out
veterans.
with like, yeah, a #1 hit every year. And like, no, it was like the veterans were at home. They
Yep.
weren't even at the show. Like,
Yeah, didn't some of them decline to go?
yeah, a lot of people didn't go. Like, yeah, Rihanna wasn't there.
Were you just impressed that she was playing on 2 pianos? Is
No,
that really
okay.
the truth?
That was cool, but like I think anyone who knows how to play piano could probably do the same thing. Because really, all she did was she took one piano performance and split it between 2. Like if you really look at it, I'm not saying it wasn't impressive because I can't play a lick of piano, but it wasn't like she did something all that revolutionary. But I thought Alicia Keys was a good host. She was high as a kite the entire time, but
Was she?
she was on something, man. And but what I liked was that she didn't do the I'm going to try to be a comedian tonight or I'm going to force my political agenda on you kind of thing. She just was like, yeah, let's have fun and, you know, here's your next performance. It's like, okay, cool. So it actually wasn't bad. I discovered some new artists that I hadn't heard of before that, you know, for once actually got to be featured because we didn't have to sit through some...
Like the Red Hot Chili Peppers?
No, not them. By the way, one of the most overrated bands in the world, but that's a different topic for another day.
No, I mean, we got a lot of time to fill. Let's go on some tangents.
It's seriously...
I'm a fan of them, but yes, you are correct. They are very
look,
overrated.
they're good, don't get me wrong, but can we stop with the, you know, one of the greatest rock bands of all time? Come on.
Beside talking about all things nerdy, like, we talk about tangents. We go on tangents.
It's...
Oh, what? You think the Beatles are the best rock band of all bands? of all time?
No, I don't think the Beatles were the best, but the Red Hot Chili Peppers stands out there that are like, you know, oh, no one's ever been better than...
Jeez,
you know,
they're not even good enough for him to, like, get their name right either.
what?
I said Peppers.
One of you said Peepers.
I said Peepers. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, they did a duet with Post Malone, and like the whole time I was thinking, you know what? Can it just be Post Malone doing it solo? I don't need Anthony Kiedis and,
See, I
and
think
his
Post
aging
Malone
rockers up
is
there.
trash.
I think he's okay.
Ugh.
I don't think he's nearly as good as people say, but like he did a live performance and it was actually pretty good. Like he's a good musician when he just sits there with a guitar. Like
I don't know.
He's out there. He's a space cadet for sure. But
Like, do you ever see that meme that says, like, it shows a picture of, like, Post Malone, and it's like if you rubbed a Four Loko, he would be the genie that comes out.
That's fair.
That's exactly
Yeah,
how he
that's
looks.
fair.
He just looks awful.
yeah.
Speaking of Genie,
Oh yeah. Oh, that was rough.
Was it really rough, though?
I mean,
feel it's not as rough as everyone's.
It
So-
was
Well,
rough
let's-
just because
let's
like
explain first.
we all knew it was going to be bad, but
So a couple months ago, everybody lost their minds. Cue the Joker from the Dark Knight memes. Everybody went crazy, he's not blue. He's Will Smith. He's not blue. And now they make him blue. He's blue now. They gave you what you wanted, and now they're like, well, now he just sounds like Will Smith. He doesn't look like he's blue, but he doesn't sound like the genie. He sounds like Will Smith.
So yes,
It's like you can't please anybody. It's like, what do you
Nope.
want?
No, they can't.
No.
Well, that's the thing. They have to remember that these movies aren't for us.
Well, see, I disagree. They should be for us.
They're for the kids. They're for the new generation.
no,
we
know,
had our
but-
Aladdin 20 years ago.
See, I think it's more. I don't know. I think they're trying to pull in the adults.
A little bit, yes, because they're the ones that are paying for the ticket. But the movies are mostly for the kids, for the new generation, to be exposed to the Aladdin story.
In the 2000 teens, I'm gonna call them, because we can't dub them the teens, because there was already a teens. So in the 2000 teens,
Okay.
nostalgia's the most important thing. So Disney is making these live-action films instead of making all new Disney movies for the little kids, like more Frozen or more Wreck-It, like more,
Yeah.
of these cartoon animated films for the kids. They're making these live action films because they want to pull in the parents.
Right,
because
because
they're going to get me to go, oh man, Aladdin was so good when I was a kid.
Yeah, because that
Oh,
audience is
man.
already built in, but they're also trying to grab the new audience.
They are.
But they know that the parents will bring the kids in and be like,
Yeah.
all right, kids, I got to show you this. Like,
So my biggest problem with that little teaser trailer they released, it wasn't even the genie. There was like a brief clip where you heard Jafar's voice. Why does he sound like such a bitch? Why does he sound like a 10-year-old boy? Jafar is supposed to be like intimidating.
Like menacing.
who's playing him?
I don't know. I have no idea who's playing him. But oh my god, I heard his voice and I was like, that's Jafar? That's your main villain? Like, no, this isn't good. He sounds like a 10-year-old kid. At least in that one soundbite we heard. So that was my bigger problem. Like, forget the genie. So screw that. Like, it's just Will Smith in like a weird blue whatever thing. Who cares? But like, make Jafar cool. Like, don't screw up Jafar, please. But they will. Just like they're gonna screw up Scar in the Lion King remake too.
I mean, maybe.
No, they will. They'll screw it up because Beyonce's in that one. So Nala's gonna become the most important character in Lion King all of a sudden. Trash.
Yeah, I don't know who this guy is playing him, but he doesn't look very Jafarish, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Marwan Kananazari?
Yeah.
Sorry, whatever your name is. Shout out to you, but I just butchered your name.
Well, Jafar's not. I guess physically he's not supposed to be intimidating because his waist is like the size of a toothpick in like the cartoon.
I don't know. I was intimidated.
But like he should have an intimidating presence and an intimidating like voice, and I don't know. Just that one sound clip threw me off. I was like, oh. No.
I didn't watch the trailer. I just listened to the people losing it, going crazy, losing their minds over it. And the only thing I could say is he's not like he's blue now, but
Hashtag not my genie.
he didn't.
Yeah.
He didn't really like. He sounded like he was like unenthused to be the genie.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm a genie.
Yeah.
It's just like
He's just
Hey, what's
there.
it sounded like Will Smith, like from Fresh Prince, like
Yeah.
Or Hitch.
telling Carlton, like, "Hey, Carlton, I'm a genie
Yeah,
now."
right, yeah.
Like,
Yes, I'm a genie now, Uncle Phil.
There was like no like enthusiasm in his
Yeah.
eye. I hope he gets like more like pumped up. He can be. It's fine that he sounds like himself. He doesn't have to be like, "Oh, I'm a genie." He doesn't have
Yeah,
to be
no.
like crazy. But I mean, at least
No.
have some enthusiasm. Like, he's just like, "I'm a genie."
Yeah.
Like, why can't he be like, "Oh, I'm a genie"? Like, be pumped up. Like, I don't know. Just like there was no there was no acting. He didn't put anything on it. There was no like panache to it. It was just like, "Hey, I'm a genie, man." Like,
I mean,
what's
I
up?
guess
Like-
maybe that's just because it was a teaser. I don't know, but yeah,
but generally, when you have a teaser,
yeah.
isn't it supposed to be like some of your best scenes to pull in the audience?
It should at least have one like highlight scene that makes you go, "Oh man, now I really want to see this."
I want to be like all those guys that after like those diss videos or somebody throws a diss out and the whole crowd goes like, "Oh,"
yeah,
and they
yeah.
lose their
Something
mind.
like that. Yeah.
That's what the trailer should do to me. When I
Right.
watch the end of the trailer, I should be like, "Oh, I gotta go see this."
And I think they thought that saving the genie for the very end of it was going to be that moment.
with his lackluster,
Yeah, because literally that's the last thing you see before the trailer ends.
"What's up, dude? I'm a genie."
Yeah.
Like, whatever he says.
In Western Arabia, born and raised. Like
It was legit.
It's
Like,
not working.
I pictured
Not
him being
yet.
like, "Hey, Carlton, like, I'm a genie now."
Yeah.
Like, nothing like, I don't know. So, this segment's called What Have You Consumed? So occasionally, once in a while, we do actually talk about something we literally consumed.
Oh.
So for me, it was my buddy Dave's birthday last night, so we went to Outback Steakhouse.
Oh.
Okay. It's always good.
I'm not a big fan of Outback Steakhouse to begin with. I think they're overrated.
I like steak.
But
Yeah.
the last time I went there, a while ago, I got a steak on like the wood fire grill, and it changed my life. And I was like, all right, maybe you just need to have the steak on the wood fire grill here, because you'll open the menu, see all the steaks, and they always have those sweet grill marks. And
Of course
you're just
they
like,
do,
oh,
yeah.
they look so good.
Oh, yeah.
Your steak never looks like that. It never looks like
Yeah,
that.
well.
It's always just like a seared steak, and it's like, all right.
Yeah.
I can go someplace else. Like, I feel Outback's the most priciest out of all of them,
It's up there.
and you're spending so much money for this average steak. But when you get it on the wood fire grill, it's a game changer. You get the grill marks. You get it. Basically looks like they pulled it out of the menu and smacked it on your plate. So I figured, all right, we're going to Outback. It's probably going to be good again. I'm going to get it on the wood fire grill, and it's probably going to be good. So I'm looking through the menu. I'm like, I always get a sirloin. Should I change it up tonight? Should I change it up? Like, should I go like New York cut? Should I go ribeye? Like, what should I do? So I quickly Googled to see like what, because I can't stand fat on steaks. I know some people love.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh,
If it's done
gross.
well, if it's a good steak, then yeah, sure. I don't know about Outback. I wouldn't.
It
but
feels
we'll
like
see.
it feels like Jello going down your throat with meat.
No, it's good.
Ugh, gross, 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 gross. I want barely any fat on it. Like if there's like a teeny bit of fat, but if there's like big chunks of fat and stuff, gross, nasty.
Why is it that like 80% of the time this show just makes me hungry?
Yeah, we do have that effect. Yeah.
I don't know, Dimitri. You just like to eat, I guess.
I do. But like,
So-
we have to talk about food.
So I was like, what am I gonna get? Am I gonna get this New York strip? Am I gonna get a ribeye? Am I gonna get bone-in ribeye? Am I gonna get normal ribeye? So I looked it up. I'm like, I want a lean steak. Like I don't want it to be tough, but I don't want it to be like I get fat is makes it like juicier or makes it not so tough or whatever. But it's like, all right, I want the best of both worlds. I want a Hannah Montana this bitch. I want it not to be tough, and I don't really want fat. I want like the perfect steak. I want like a really good steak. So I decided to go with the ribeye because when I looked it up, it was like, oh, it's a succulent cut. It's supposed to be like really lean. Just looking at it, I just pulled it up. I'm Googling it now again, and you look at it, and it looks awesome. It looks fantastic. It looks so good.
You never Google food. Why would you
Yeah,
Google
I mean
food?
that is a dangerous road to go down. Yeah.
Like watching a
Well,
commercial for food.
because like I said, I usually get sirloin, and I usually don't go with filet mignon because they're too small. They're way you get like a small portion that you never get like
Yeah,
a
that's
big.
true. Yeah.
It's usually like 4 or 6 ounces.
It's like bitch steak.
Yeah, basically, you don't get enough unless you're like a really small person.
Yeah.
Fine, then it works for you. But for me, it doesn't. Like I'm like, oh, I'm still hungry. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get a ribeye, and I decided to go with the smaller ribeye because it was like 10 or 12 or 14 or something. So it was a pretty large steak. So I'm like excited about it. I'm like, oh, this thing's gonna be super lean. Like even the picture like on the wall, they have like a picture of it on the wall. It looks good, and the menu it looks good. I'm like, oh, this thing.
That's why they have pictures on the walls, right?
Yeah. Push marketing.
Yeah.
I'm like, this thing's gonna be fantastic. This thing's gonna be amazing. So I get it. They put it on my plate. The way they cut it, it looked like a heart almost. So I don't know if they were doing it just because it's close to Valentine's Day.
Aw,
Yeah, it's cute.
So it looked hardish, and I was like, all right, I'm ready. I go to cut it, and I'm just and I can see like the fat ripping, and I'm just like, wait a minute, this looks fatty to me. And then there was like a big glob of fat in the side, and it basically, I'd say 70% of it was fat. 70% of it was fat. There was just like little pieces of steak connected to like the fatty white globs of like jello-y nastiness.
Deliciousness.
Ugh. So you enjoy having like, I feel like a steak should be a firm thing, like a firm thing going down your throat.
I try not to laugh, Dimitri. Damn
You
you.
did it on purpose.
Fine, So I want like some. I want the firmness of the meat going down my throat. But with
I'm sure you do.
I do. I want some firm meat in my mouth.
Yeah.
So with the fat, it just feels like Jello. I don't know. It's just globby. It's nasty.
Yeah.
I think of like Gulpin, the Pokemon, and I'm eating
Okay.
one, like because they're just like a
But
globby.
isn't a gulpin a fish?
No, a Gulpin in Pokemon's like this globby green guy.
I would
No,
think of
that was a
like
fish.
Muck or Grimer or something.
Oh, okay, yeah, but then
Yeah.
they smell awful. So why would I eat them? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But it was just very disappointing.
Yeah.
That's a
Extremely just like the
Yeah.
most disappointing steak I think I've ever had in my life.
I'm so
and I
sorry.
got it on the wood fire grill, and the marks weren't even that good. And it sucked even more because our waiter like sucked balls. Like he was awful. Like I don't even know if I can I use that term on the show? I think
You can
opened,
now,
I think
yeah.
we've opened the floodgates here. Like
I've said bitch like 3 times in the last
but
20 minutes. So
bitch is
that's,
fine.
I think
bitch
we're
is
okay.
fine. This dude. He sucked. He was awful.
no.
We went there and we were there for almost 3 hours,
Wow.
like eating because he took so long
'cause
to
he
come.
took so long, yeah,
He just
wow.
took forever to like come and give us our food. It was just
Oh, well, you went last night, right?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Monday night shouldn't have been that bad.
There,
Okay.
No, it shouldn't have,
legitimately,
yeah.
there was 5 tables and 2 people
Yeah.
at the bar. So there were 5 active tables and 3 waiters between the 5 tables, and this dude was only waiting on us and 1 other table.
He was just not good.
He
Yeah,
he
no.
blew.
This man is not good at his job.
He was
Yeah.
awful. He was awful. But good note though, if you do go to Outback Steakhouse, get the mac and cheese bites.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy,
Yeah. That made it a little better.
heaven in a little ball.
Are those?
Yeah.
Is that the place with the really good buns too, or is that the other steakhouse?
They give you like Outback gives you like a piece, like a big loaf of like pumpernickel bread
Okay. All
or
right.
like rye bread, whatever the black bread is.
Whatever it is, that's good.
Rye
bread
or
too.
pumpernickel.
I think it's
The ones that give you the
rye,
rolls is
The other steakhouse.
I know this too. I was saying last night that it was Texas Roadhouse.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
I think that's the best steakhouse in my opinion.
I've only been there once, but I didn't get a steak.
Texas,
How could you not go to a steakhouse?
I don't know.
it's like a steakhouse.
To be fair, I didn't want to go when I was dragged there.
Okay.
So I was like, I don't care.
We'll go
Just-
sometime.
I was like, they serve beer here, right? Just give me a beer.
We'll go there. We'll go on like a mandate,
Okay.
and
yeah.
we'll get a steak.
Can
there.
I be a third wheel?
Because I can't.
Sure,
'cause,
yeah.
Like I want to go and get a steak, but I can't go myself. So I gotta, and I'm not gonna take some chick out to go get a steak.
No.
Wait.
okay.
Is that kind of the point of going out?
Sure, I guess, but I've been getting into like Chinese Zodiac because where I work, it's right next to Chinatown. Well, not right next to it, but it's near Chinatown. So they've been putting like pig statues because it's the year of the
It
pig.
is the year of
Yeah,
the pig, yeah.
yeah.
So I've been like getting into the Chinese Zodiac, like learning about the different animals and the different elements to the animals and stuff. So I looked up my horoscope, and I'm supposed to have like a very good financial year. I'm supposed to have a very good health year, but love is like no love.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm just like, screw it. Like, what's the point of trying to take somebody out if?
Because China says you can't.
Yeah, yeah.
The entire country says you can't.
Yeah.
And who am I to disagree with them? They have more people, like, what are they, like, triple us in, like, population? They know.
Sure.
know.
Right.
Yeah.
Except the zodiac all really depends on the arrangement of stars on the day you were born.
It's true.
Yeah.
Which,
Well, it's the year. For them, it's a year. It's a yearly
which
thing.
totally makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Totally
Hey.
accurate way of
Yeah.
science.
So I'm not fully, like, all right, I like to read a horoscope every now and then. I wouldn't say I'm, like, sold. I'm in on it. But with these zodiac signs, like, I looked up mine, and a lot of the traits that they say I have. There's a couple that I'm like, I don't agree with it.
Oh, yeah.
se.
I mean, look, mine's Scorpio, and apparently, according to Scorpio, I'm an a-hole. So, I don't know. I mean,
Well, that's like your normal horoscope.
yeah.
Your whatever, your Chinese zodiac is by the year. So what were you, 88?
89.
89? Oh.
Not sure what it is.
89 is snake.
We'll look it up. We'll
Yeah,
look it
I'll
up.
have to look that up.
I'll give you some. I found like a really good site that's
Oh,
like
God.
legit. They even got like my lucky number too. Like they give you like lucky colors and lucky numbers. It's legit. It's legit. I think it's pretty sweet. So yeah, I know 88's a dragon and 87's a rabbit because that's what I am.
Okay.
So yeah, Dimitri, you're 89 too?
Yeah, 89 is snake.
Okay, so you guys are a couple snakes.
Yeah, we are.
Well, it depends on. Nah, you'd probably still be a snake because it depends. I know sometimes the years go into the other year.
Yeah, because like the Chinese years are different.
Yeah,
than
it's
what
different
we're
than
used to.
from normal. Yeah, but you'd probably still
yeah.
And that was your lesson in the Chinese zodiac.
yeah.
Well, yeah. See, we
See?
consumed a lot of stuff.
We're always learning something.
I was just so irate about the steak being freaking awful.
Apparently.
We should go to the other steakhouse sometimes.
I think Texas Roadhouse is the best steak.
I'll agree
I think
with
they
you.
taste the best.
I agree with you.
Longhorn's good, but it's just really expensive, and I don't know, I feel like the flavor of Texas Roadhouse is just better. Like I said, I want a steak that's firm, yet
So is Longhorn
Lean.
the Red Hot Chili Peppers of steakhouses?
I think Outback would be. Outback's trash. It's kind of trash. It's not that good. The bloomin' onion, I don't even like onions, but if they cook them like really crispy, I'll like eat the crispy stuff off it.
That's called oil.
Yeah, you're just eating fried oil.
That's
Yeah,
probably why I feel so crappy.
Yeah, that might
That
have
would make
something to do
sense,
with it.
actually. That would make sense.
I ate so much little crispy
If you
batter
melted that down, you could run your car on it. Like, that's what you ate.
of the crispy batter.
Yeah.
Because that's canola oil, whatever corn oil, whatever they
Well,
boil it in.
I had some of those. I had some mac and cheese bites. I had a disgusting steak. Look, you got me thinking about the Chinese zodiac.
Yeah, hey, yeah.
It wasn't that great. It was just awful. It just wasn't a good time.
So sorry to hear that.
Don't go to Outback Steakhouse, people. It sucks.
Well, maybe this particular one.
We're gonna get like people commenting, "You suck,
I know,
John.
right? We're gonna get
Trash,
Outback Steakhouse fans come and be like, how dare you?
degenerate."
I guess we're not getting sponsored by Outback.
No, probably not.
I mean, unless they're gonna give me like a steak that's good. I mean, granted, their sirloin steak's not bad. They're
See,
just,
I wasn't going to throw conditions on it. I was going to be like, no, they can still sponsor us. It's okay.
No, you know what? Because I want to be like, I know we got to take a break, but if I'm sponsoring something, I don't want to be like a shameless plug hog where I'm just like, go to Outback Steakhouse. Their steak's amazing. Like, you have a great. I don't know what their slogan is. Like, go have an outish time, or I don't know
What is their
What
slogan,
I forget something. I don't know.
Something about the down under because they pretend to be
Yeah.
Australian.
Yeah, which I almost went in the girls' bathroom because I have no idea what the hell. What the name is of
Oh, because they don't say men and ladies.
No, it's
yeah.
like-
Isn't that like blokes or something?
blokes and Sheilas or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was, yeah.
So I'm like, well, I don't think the guy would have an A at the end, so I guess I'll go on to blokes. But you never know. I don't know. But it just. All right. So my buddy Mike was there with me too, and he just commented and said, "Don't lie, the filet mignon was good. The filet mignon was good, but it was so small because he ended up giving me like half of his steak because he's a small dude,
Yeah.
and he didn't. We ate like a lot of appetizers and stuff, and we got a lot of food. So he gave me like maybe half or a quarter of his steak, and that was really good. But I would never buy it because it's so teeny,
Yeah.
and it wasn't on the wood fire grill.
No,
I want
no.
the cross marks on it. If
right.
there's no marks on my steak, I don't want it.
It's fair.
I don't want it.
No,
I want it to
steak.
I know. Yeah.
just don't get one from Outback.
Yeah. No, I don't
Trash,
know.
trash.
I guess I won't now.
Well, maybe you'd like it. Maybe you'd be like in heaven with all like the
I don't know,
jiggly
yeah.
fat in your mouth.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe it was a bad
Delicious.
cut. Maybe that the
That was it too, because it said it was supposed to be like lean and very flavorful. I felt like the flavor sucked in it too. Like it didn't even taste good in my mouth. Like
maybe it was a bad cut. That's all it was. Maybe it
Yeah.
was just a bad slice that they got, or bad piece of meat or something. And you,
Or
unfortunately, you just got it served.
or hot take here, the waiter was an awful degenerate and just brought me a really crappy steak because he didn't care.
Oh, it could be.
Could be that too.
Yeah, he was a degenerate. All right, we're going to take a short break. We're going to get Mitch on the line, and we'll be back to talk everything. Everything you can think of, we're going to talk about. But we're not going to talk wrestling. No wrestling tonight. Sorry,
Yeah.
folks.
I know you're all really torn up.
Sometimes sometimes there's no wrestling
Sometimes.
happening. But maybe next week. All right, we'll be back. Stay tuned. Rifters, we are back here on the Go Network. We have someone that I'm very proud to say is my friend, the conjurer of cons, the king of the nerds, Mitch Hallock. It's been a long time since we've had you on the show. I'm glad to have you back. How the hell are you?
I'm cold, John, but the warmth of the fandom has just melted my heart.
So, I've seen you posting the guests that are coming, and every year I always say you outdo yourself. Every year I'm like, oh, well, first let me, just because I think we have a couple of new listeners listening, I see on the Facebook page. If you guys don't know who Mitch Hallock is, he is the creator of Terrificon at the Mohegan Sun Casino. So he has this con going every summer. It's the best con of the summer. I think it's the best con on the East Coast. So this is the man behind one of the greatest comic book conventions, maybe one of the only few comic book conventions actually that's legit about the comic books.
Correct.
Still going, because mostly any other con you go to, if it has a con to it, it's basically just a pop culture con where they're just getting you in there to pay a buttload of money to meet somebody for 10 seconds and say, like, I liked you in this movie, and then you got to run away.
Yeah,
but
here's somebody from a TV show that was on in 1970 that you might have remembered. What?
Yeah, that C-list actor who's just trying to get a couple bucks because they're in nothing else. But that doesn't happen at Terrificon.
No. And if we have old actors from TV shows, the thing of it is, it has to be connected to comic books. You have to have worked on a show. Like we had Lou Ferrigno last year. That's the Hulk. He's iconic. That's, that was on 40 years ago, but still, that's the Hulk, man. We had Adam West one year, but he passed away just before the show. So, yeah, if you see anybody at our shows, there's always a comic book connection when it comes to that,
Yeah, and like I said, I think that's why your con is one of the best. With a bunch of other reasons, but it's legit like the last of the Mohegans of the Comic-Cons.
Yeah, it's like Woodstock for comic book nerds and fans, We just go out there every year. I get some guys from the Bronze Age, the Silver Age, or, the modern age, what we live in, and say, hey. And they know it, too. They all talk, dude. I mean, my mailbox inbox is full of people requesting, can they come to the show? Can they come to the show? So I'm not in a situation where I'm knocking on doors begging people. The reputation has grown in the industry that people go, oh, Terrificon, yeah, man, I want to go to Terrificon because they know it's going to be, a communing with fans and fellow comic book aficionados.
Yeah, and the venue just definitely spices it up a notch. You have the casino if you want to gamble. There's so many restaurants to eat. There's so many things to do at Mohegan Sun. So it's like you got the Comic-Con, you can gamble, there's nightlife, it's everything. It's basically the best place to have a convention, honestly.
Yeah, it's all indoors, it's all covered. All those restaurants you talked about, there's 52 or 60 restaurants or places to eat there. It's all under one giant roof. There's free parking, so you don't have to go out and pay for parking and walk forever. There's entertainment. There's, like you said, there's gambling if you want to do that. There's comedy clubs. There's bars and music, live music. This is all stuff that's going on outside the comic book convention. So if you want to take a breather, you want to leave the show for a little bit, go to your car, put your autographed comics back, your autographed artwork or whatever you bought, T-shirts, toys, Funko, and then just walk around and go to Chick-fil-A or go over to Pepe's Pizza or go get a Krispy Kreme or, sit down at a real nice restaurant like Michael Jordan's Steak Restaurant. You could do all that and go play the Batman slot machine and then walk back into Terrificon because that's 3 days of nonstop comic book fun. It's like going to Disney World if it was all comic book stuff,
Wow. Okay. So I'm just relooking over the guests because I guess I didn't see everybody that you put out so far. But so like as I was saying when I first introduced you, you always outdo yourself. Every year it's better and better and better and better. And your first few guests, I was like, wow. Like is this this year? You're like, I feel you're going above and beyond. Is there like a special reason why you're going? I feel like you're going all out this time.
It's the 5th year I've been doing a show at Mohegan Sun, so it's kind of like a little celebration. 5 years. No one thought it was going to work at a casino. Everyone thought it was going to be crazy. to move the show 70 miles from where it started here. People were like, you can't move the show. You can't move the show. We did. No one's going to go there. No one's going to bring their kids. Well, yeah, they're going to bring their kids because kids 8 and under are free. And it was like 10 times bigger than we ever thought it would be, So, yeah, this year I was like, you know what? Let's go all out. And I'm going to give you guys some advanced exclusives tonight because I haven't posted everything up on the website.
Okay.
Nice.
What I'm trying to do is I do 2 guests a week. I'll do one on a Monday, and then I'll do one on a Friday.
Okay.
So they have like the weekend, and then it gives a couple days breather. And the way I'm doing it, people are like, wow, he's bringing a lot of old-time guests and guys that have worked in the 60s and 70s, 80s. I start off with the legendary comic book creators. There's a method to the madness. So I started off with Jim Steranko.
Yes.
Then I moved into Chris Claremont, X-Men stuff. Then J. Michael Straczynski, or JMS,
Yep.
who did tons of work, Spider-Man.
Yep.
And then,
Great Spider-Man
Babylon
run.
5, movies, TV shows, Sense8. He's done a lot of stuff. He's been doing Superman. You name it, he's done it. And then I'm like, okay, we've got some guys there. Who else do you want to see? Well, you know what? Yesterday, Kevin Smith, they announced he's going to be doing a Howard the Duck cartoon on Hulu. And I said, oh, you know what? I got a Howard the Duck guy. So I'm the co-creator of Howard the Duck, Mr. Val Mayrick.
Yes.
He's coming to the show. He's never at shows. People were writing to me last night. They go, oh, my God, I've never seen him at a show. And I've been going to cons for 30 years. What really? I'm like, yeah. So that's kind of cool. I'm trying to think who else is up there already.
You have George Perez up, which
George, oh my God.
huge.
How could I forget George Perez?
Right, gigantic.
George Perez, who was supposed to be, I know you and I talked 2 years ago, he was supposed to be at the show, but he had
Yep.
2 heart attacks that year. And the doctors told him he couldn't go out. And he felt so bad because we had advertised him. He was one of the first guests we advertised for the year. And he was looking forward to coming here. He wanted to see the casino because he had been at a show I did in Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Right.
And you guys remember that one.
Yep.
And he said, oh, I want to go see the new digs. I want to see the Expo Center. He was looking forward to it, the casino. And then he had the stroke or the heart attacks. And so he said, I'm doing the last go-arounds this year, 2019, and that's it.
Wait, he's
So
done
he
doing
made-
cons?
He's only going to be doing cons if it's near his house in Florida after this. So that's it. And
Oh.
so he said, I'm coming around. So all the shows he had promised that year, but he couldn't make it because of the heart attack and his recuperation. He's making good on his promise, and that's why he's coming to Terrificon. I think he's going to East Coast Con. He's going to Dragon Con. Whatever cons that were on his schedule that year,
Right.
he's doing a make good, and that's it.
And he's only coming
So-
that Friday, the first night.
He's only coming that Friday because he made a promise to another con that's in Florida, which is that weekend too. So what he's going to do is he's flying up Thursday, resting up. We're going to open the doors. I haven't announced it yet, so here's another exclusive. The show normally starts at 2, but because it's George's last time in Connecticut ever, or everywhere around here, we're going to open up the doors earlier that day just for George. So if you want to see George Perez, he'll sign up to 12 things for you for free. Not going to charge you. He's going to be doing sketches, but you have to get on a waiting list that happens 30 days before the show. So 30 days before the show, we'll announce it. If you're one of the few people he picks, he's doing like a Head and Shoulders drawing.
Oh, I gotta
whatever
do it.
character
I
you
gotta
want.
do it.
Man, yeah.
And that'll be it. And then that's it. So we're going to open up extra early just for George Perez fans that day, probably around 11 or so, a couple hours before the rest of the show opens, just so he can meet everybody and they could all say thank you for all the work he's done, because he's done a lot of work. And,
Yeah.
45 years, I think he's been around, something like that. So, yeah, it'll be nice to see George. And everybody wishes him well. I mean, his health hasn't been that great lately. He's had some eye problems, and the heart attacks didn't help. So he's just going to go out on top, and he's retiring from comic books. So, God bless him. And he's one of the greatest pencilers, artists, writers
Yeah.
you'll ever see. So come on out that Friday. He'll be there all day and until 8 o'clock, and then he's going to get in the car, and we're going to whisk him up to the airport, and he's going to fly straight to Florida to be at the other show he's got to go to. So God, good on him, man, for
Yeah,
making good
yeah.
on a promise. Most people don't stick to their word nowadays, so
Absolutely.
that's a big one.
So when
Yeah.
you had him there the first time, a couple years ago, I met him.
Yeah.
I got
Yep.
a Captain America sketch, but I always
Yep, I
wanted
got
to
one.
get a Cyborg sketch from him too. So I'm gonna have to put my name on
Oh,
that
that'd
waiting
be
list.
cool.
Yeah, if this is gonna be his last
Yep.
time, I gotta get that
That's it.
sketch. Oh man.
Yeah. So George is there, and that's it so far. But I'll give you some names out there because I know you're into all the new comics. Because everyone's like, well,
Oh,
when are
no.
you getting the newer guy?
We missed Jay Lee and Alan Davis.
Alan Davis was such a big hit last year. I knew there was more guys. Alan Davis was such a big hit. People were begging me if he could come back, and he doesn't usually come to the U.S. often, but I just emailed him. He said he had such a good time. He says it's never trouble coming to one of the few Comic Cons that actually lives up to its name, Terrificon. I was like, there you go, buddy. I'm going to put that on a bumper sticker. So he's coming back. And Jay Lee, that's right. I announced Jay Lee Friday night. And I do all this myself. Once I put that up there, I got in the car and I drove around Rhode Island this weekend and Massachusetts promoting my other convention, which is CT GamerCon,
Right.
which is in March at Mohegan Sun, which is all video games and Magic the Gathering and Dungeons and Dragons and all that stuff. So, my head's swimming. So Friday, it's like announce Jay Lee. Saturday and Sunday, drive around, promote GamerCon. Monday, come back and put Val Mayrick up. And now Tuesday, I'm talking to you. And I already did the artwork for the guests that are coming in the next couple weeks. So I'm going to drop some names here for you. So you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. And then we can kind of go back.
Some
'cause-
exclusives.
all right,
Yeah,
lay the
some
exclusives on me. Dimitri,
All right,
tweet out that
Tom.
we got some exclusives here or something.
All right. You can post it now or whenever you're listening. Ready?
Lay it
From
on me.
Heroes in Crisis and Batman, Mr. Tom King.
Really?
Yes. And you got to have the artist on Heroes in Crisis. Mr. Clay Mann will be joining Tom King at Terrificon.
That's pretty huge.
Now, you say you like your Marvel comics, right? Okay, well, Ryan Stegman was supposed to be here last year, but he had to cancel because he was working on the Venom book.
Yes.
And it was like on deadline, so it was a last-minute cancellation. So he's making good on his promise. Ryan Stegman's coming, and you can't have the artist without the writer, so Mr. Donnie Cates is coming.
Wow.
Terrificon.
He's hot right now. He's the guy at Marvel currently, kind of.
Yeah, he is. He's doing the Green Goblin, the Guardians of the Galaxy, Venom. I think he's writing that Old Man. Maybe I'm wrong. The Old Man.
I know
what was it? Star-Wars?
he's
Old Man Quill.
Yeah, Old
I
Man
just
Quill.
picked it up the other day. I think that's him. I got to double check. But anyway, yeah, Donnie Cates is huge, man. He's really big, so he'll be at the show. Let me see who else is on the list here. Donnie Cates, Jay Lee. I got to give you some DC guys. Kyle Higgins, who's a writer.
Really?
Today. Yeah.
Had a
yeah,
fantastic run on Nightwing.
Yeah. Frank Thierry
Okay.
is coming. He's a writer on DC's books as well. I think he's taking over Batman. Speaking of Batman, Peter Tomasi's coming back. He was a guy from last year.
Yeah, we met him last year. He was awesome.
He's working on Detective Comics 1000. Let's see. Who else is on this list that you know? I don't want to give them all out.
Oh, no, right. Sure, yeah.
Then they got nothing to talk about. Let's see. Donnie Cates, I'll give you that one. Clay Man. All right. I don't want to. I'm just reading.
No, that's fine if that's all you want to get. That's big enough. Like that's huge. So I'm not a big fan of Tom King, but I can't deny that he's maybe one of the biggest names in comics right now because he's writing Batman.
Right.
He's writing their current event. I don't necessarily agree with how he writes Batman. I mean, his other work I really enjoy. I just don't really like how he writes Batman. But
yeah, Mr. Miracle was a really great.
Yeah. So I mean, I get it, but he's huge. Like that's gigantic to have him there. I feel like I don't see him at a lot of cons either. So that's pretty big. That's pretty big.
Now, and then, going back to some old school guys, Tim Truman, big fan of Tim Truman. He did Scout. He did Jonah Hex. Grim Jack, a bunch of books that it was there. Tom Grummett, who was a big Superman artist back in the 90s and stuff with Ordway. Still works on a lot of good books. Tom Grummett. Let's see, who else is on this list? Oh, there's a lot. We just keep watching every week. You'll see more and more and more. I just don't want to ruin it all because there's 7 months to go.
Yeah.
The show.
So
if I put them all out today, I'm like, well, geez, there goes the thing.
So generally, you usually get the best of the best. You need to get at some point, if it's this year, next year, you need to get Jason Aaron to your show.
I do. He's on my wish list. I got Jason Aaron on that list. I just had another one that was last year. We had Charles Soule, so he was actually texting me. He goes, I'd like to come back again. Let's see who's on my wish list. My personal wish list that I wish I could get for the show. Humphreys is good.
Yeah.
Chip Zdarsky. He's on my wish list.
Chip would be awesome.
Matt Fraction and Kelly Sue DeConnick, they're on my wish list.
Yes.
They're married, so it's cool. You get one of both of them. Who else would I like? I like Jeff Lemire. He's somebody I like.
Jeff Lemire's cool.
Yeah, I'm like, what other writers out there that? Well, Kirkman, but he'll never come. He doesn't do many shows. He only does like Emerald City.
Right.
You know who I'd really like to get next year? Maybe I'll say, if this year works out well, maybe I'll save all my nickels and dimes and bottle returns and all that. I'll save up. I'd love to get Todd McFarlane. I think Todd would be huge.
And he just did a deal with DC to make their toys.
I know. I saw that today.
Which is big.
McFarlane Toys has the DC license.
Which
is cool, because I just wonder what they're going to do with those figures, because I like the DC Direct stuff. I like whoever's making that. I think it's Mattel, isn't it?
Yes.
Who makes the DC
think so.
figures? Yeah, they've been pretty good sculpts and articulation,
Yeah, I believe it's Mattel.
Well, you just know McFarlane's amazing with his stuff. So
they're the best of the best. You can't get better than him. When I heard that, I was like, wow, like this is gonna be legit.
Now, who else would you like to see? Like Brian K. Vaughan?
Brian K. Vaughan's good. I'm not as big on, I think he's a great writer, but I wouldn't be I would think it'd be awesome if you got him, but he wouldn't be on the level of like a Jason Aaron for me. That would be like, whoa, Okay. But Jason Aaron's the artist for Thor, Russell Dauterman. I think he's maybe the best artist in comics right now. It'd be Mark Waid is still up there for me. I met him once.
Mark Waid, I talked to Mark last October at Baltimore Comic Con, and I invited him, so we'll see. Gail Simone.
Gail Simone, yes.
I invited her. Yeah.
Gail would be awesome.
I've been trying to get her for years.
Yeah, I don't see her at too many cons, to be honest.
No, but she's great.
Her run on Batgirl was like an all-timer for me. I loved that run on Batgirl.
Jason Aaron's writing the new Conan the Barbarian book.
Yep.
I just read those last night. Issue 3. So that's a good one.
I think his run on Thor the last 5-6 years has been
Jane Foster?
Has been the best from the male Thor to Jane Foster back to male Thor. I think he's been the best writer of Thor since Walt Simonson.
There you go.
Yeah, his Thor is amazing. It's unreal. He's like the quintessential Thor writer of our generation, I believe. It's unreal. If you're not reading it, you should. It's excellent.
Oh, another one. Speaking of newer artists, you know who's doing the Green Lantern with Grant Morrison, Liam Sharp?
Yes.
He's coming.
He doesn't do a lot of cons, though, right?
No, he does not. No.
Yeah, he'd be
Everybody
good.
wants to go to Terrificon, so it's good right now.
Now, would you ever try to get Grant Morrison, or he wouldn't do it? You don't think? I don't think he ever does cons. I don't think I've ever seen Grant Morrison at a con.
Yeah.
He'd be someone that would be like, I think you'd blow people's minds if he was there. But
yeah, Grant Morrison would be one, and I don't know. Well, that's some.
But you always, like I said, every year you outdo yourself. Like there was the couple years where I could never meet Scott Snyder, and I got to meet him. Like I went to con after con trying to meet him, and I'd get either the line would be too long, or I'd I wouldn't get a ticket in time, but at your con I got to meet him. I actually got to talk to him for a few minutes. Like that was awesome. That was awesome. So you definitely deliver when it comes to getting the best of the best for sure. And when I saw that you had Chris Claremont, who the godfather of the X-Men, so we got a few people actually commenting and about the show. So we have
cool,
somebody says Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples is who they'd like to see.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of Saga too. So I'm with those folks.
She's up there with best artist right now. She's always, and she does it all herself too. Fiona Staples would be huge. They asked if Joe St. Pierre, if you would get Joe St. Pierre.
Joe St. Pierre, he's always at our show. He was there last year. Joe's coming back.
Oh, Joe's going to be there.
Joe's a local guy. Yeah, that's probably Joe writing that. It's kind of cool. Yeah, I like hearing feedback from people who they want to see. But we got some people there. Like I said, I'm like a kid. I'm like Santa Claus. I got all the presents wrapped under the tree, and it's only July, and I want to open them all, but I got to wait till December. So
Yeah.
It drives me crazy, kid.
But yeah, I thought last year I was like, you went, Charles Soule I thought was huge.
Never gonna top himself this time. That's what you were saying. Right?
I was just like, I don't know how he's gonna do it. Like I don't think he's gonna be able to talk. I thought you'd maybe, I don't want to use the word plateau, but you'd be as good as last year. I didn't think that you were. I don't know. I just didn't think. I was like, there's no way he's gonna beat last year because last year was so good. Peter Tomasi, Charles Soule. You had what's his name writing Spider-Man.
Nick
Spencer. Yeah, I mean he was like the toughest dude to find.
And then we got like Jim Starlin coming back.
Yes.
He was there last year too. Legendary Jim Starlin. And who else do we have? We had Ron Lim, Jim Starlin. Last year was Mike Barr. We had a lot of great Batman DC comic writers. We had Christopher Priest was there last year.
Yes. Yep. Yes.
You don't see him a lot of shows.
I was supposed to email him, but I ended up losing his card, so I never got to email him to get him on the show. Yeah, I had his card to talk because his Black Panther run I think is the greatest Black Panther run of all time.
I got Michael Cho. Speaking of artists. He's the one, if you know Michael Cho, he does all those great variant covers, and he does a lot of the DC.
I'm wearing his Daredevil shirt right now.
Are you really, Michael Cho?
Yeah, yep.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I just saw his Batman 1000 cover, which is really cool. So, and John Cassaday's coming this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man.
There you go. Come on now. That's a hell of a lineup, man, So come on down. If you want to meet comic book people, come to
like I said, you pumped out Straczynski, you pumped out Starlin, and you pumped out Claremont, and I was like, whoa, he's hitting home runs or he's hitting moonshots.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that Chris Claremont was going to be there.
Every year I do this show, I always want to make it the best show. And when it's over, I go, that was the best show we'll ever do.
Yeah.
And then you got to top yourself. Then the next year I go, no, that was the best show. That'll be the best one. And then year after year after year, man,
And you do it. You always do it. You definitely always do it.
There's some other guys I want. Like I said, Doug Munch, who was an old-time Marvel guy that I used to like, Moon Knight, Master Kung Fu. Stephen Bissett. Brian Boland's one I'd love to have.
If you could get him.
Right?
I feel like he does, like, barely ever does a con, but
yeah, that'd
be crazy. Yeah, that'd be crazy. I'm surprised you haven't gotten Frank Miller yet. I feel like he always goes to like the bigger, or you wouldn't want Frank Miller. Are you not a Frank Miller guy?
No, I would. No, I'm a huge Frank Miller fan. It's just what I have in the budget and what we could,
sure.
Yeah, because a lot of these folks some people have fees and stuff, but You just have to like make sure you don't price yourself out of.
So you asked
your
me
money.
who else I'd want beside Jason Aaron. Jason Aaron's obviously, I think he's my favorite writer. But
Okay.
Brian Michael Bendis, I'd love to have to meet him. I think he'd be really cool. Who else? Ed Brubaker, he'd be really cool.
Ed Brubaker. I remember we had Steve Epting, and I asked him at the time if Ed would do it. I don't think Ed does shows.
I don't think he does either. Yeah. Garth Ennis would be really cool. His Punisher run's an all-timer, I feel. You said Matt Fraction already. Warren Ellis. He has.
Warren Ellis would be good.
Yeah.
I was with Garth Ennis in October.
Yeah.
I was like talking to him. I was like, oh, he'd be cool to get. So we'll see.
You got to try to rope in Jeff Johns at some point too.
Jeff Johns would be good. Jim Lee would be good.
Yes.
Rick
Remender.
John Byrne.
Rick
John
Remender
Byrne
would be good.
Yeah. If I ever got John Byrne, I'd retire. That would be my.
Oh man, if you had Claremont and Byrne together. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, last year I found out afterwards. We had Joe Sinnott, legendary inker Joe Sinnott.
Right.
Joe's like 92. He was there on Saturday. That was like a last-minute announcement. He called on Thursday night and said, hey, I'd like to come down. And he drove down from upstate New York. And I had heard that John Byrne himself was coming to the show on Saturday night to have dinner with Joe, but Joe wasn't feeling that well, so he had to go home.
Oh.
So we almost had Byrne at the show. Almost. I was like, wait, no.
Oh,
like, yeah,
man.
Yeah. John was coming down to meet with Joe. And, see, so Joe,
How
who knows?
about someone like Jeff Loeb? Would he do cons?
Jeff Loeb would be cool. He's from Connecticut originally. He's lived in Stamford, Connecticut. Lots of these times I just forget to ask people. So
Yeah.
you just have to remind me, and because I put the list together, and I'm like, oh yeah, wait a minute, and I'm like, oh no.
Because I feel Jeff Loeb, he's like in charge of all the shows. He's like the executive producer of all the shows.
Television stuff. That's Jeff Loeb.
But most people
Kevin-
forget that he's wrote some legendary comics. He's wrote some awesome comics.
He wasn't he the one that said to blow up Stanford in the Civil War? I think that was him.
Yeah, I believe so. And the Long Halloween, he's just done a ton of
all those Tim Sale books.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All those colors they do, like, what is it? Hulk gray, Captain America white, Spider-Man yellow, or was Daredevil yellow, Spider-Man blue. Remember that they have like one color?
Yes,
things?
they were awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome miniseries.
Yeah, and then he did those. Yeah, the Long Halloween. Then he did a Catwoman. They did a couple Batman ones.
Yeah, he had a lot of really great comics in like the 90s, for sure.
Yeah, Tim Sale's definitely on that list. I love Tim Sale's work. Good guy.
Yeah, he would be awesome for sure. He would definitely be someone that I really want to meet, hands down.
We're just going to bore people to death. We just sit there all day and just talk about who we want to meet.
Yeah.
And if anybody's listening to the show, like you said, just have them just shoot me emails and say, here's who I'd like to meet when they have one of your shows.
So back looking at the comments, someone said Kevin Eastman. Kevin Eastman would be huge.
Kevin Eastman would be good.
And people were excited for Brubaker. They said that would be a good one. So, yeah. Did I ever tell you my Kevin Eastman story? I met him one time. He was at
No.
He was at what con was it? It was not Rhode Island Super Mega Fest. He was there and he was only there for one day. And I remember I was giving out cards all day long or whatever, and he was only there for like an hour or two. So I stood in line and I had my last card, my Static Riff card, to hand him to try to get him on the show. So I was waiting in line. I was so nervous. When I get to him, I sweated the ink off the card.
Oh.
So the card was completely. So instead of trying to get him on the show or whatever, I was like, "Thank you for making my childhood great." And he was like, "Wow, no one's ever said that to me." And I was just like,
"Get away from me!"
I was like, "Oh, thank you," and I left. I was just so I want to have like one of those like web redemptions or something. Like I gotta meet him again and like redeem myself for fanning out too much. but he's always
I'm
been
sure
somebody.
He forgot all about it. He's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm not worried about that kid.
Yeah. But he's always been.
Eastman's fun. I met him years ago when I had my son was with me, and he was doing turtle sketches and stuff.
Yeah. He was.
Peter Laird. I saw Peter Laird last year at a local show, which is weird because he's never does a lot of shows.
Yes.
You know?
Didn't he? He came last year or the year before when you had Stan Sakai there. He
Stan
showed up.
Sakai, yeah, they're like good friends. Stan Sakai, I forgot that. Yeah, Stan Sakai worked on some turtle stuff. I think he inked them or drew some of them.
And they had the crossover between Yojimbo and the Turtles.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. He was even on the cartoon.
Yes, yep.
If you watch the Turtles cartoon,
Yeah.
I can never say it right. How do you say it? Jambio?
Usagi Yojimbo?
There you go. You said it. Usagi Yojimbo. Yeah, I'm always like, that and Doctor Strange's enemy. I know how to say it, Dormammu. Now I know how to say it. But sometimes, if you ever listen to me talk about it, I'll be like, yeah, what's that guy? Dormammu.
Yeah,
what?
it's a tough name. Dormammu.
There's some things that you see written, and your brain knows what it is. But when you go to say it and articulate it in public, the words just don't come out of your mouth very fluently. You're like, Dormammu. Yeah, sure. Dormammu. That's Dormammu. Whatever.
It's close
But
enough.
anyway, we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yes.
Terrificon.
Yeah.
So, August 9th to the 11th, Mohegan Sun, Uncasville, Connecticut. Tickets on sale right now. They'll be on sale at a bunch of comic book stores around the area in the coming months. So just check the website, Terrificon.com, and that's it for that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about other stuff there, Johnny.
Yes. So we love to talk about Terrificon. We love talking about the con, but we have so many things to talk about since the last time Mitch has been on. So we're going to get into the world of everything nerdy. We're going to talk about comic books, television, movies, all that stuff. So I think the first thing we got to talk about, you already mentioned it already, is the animated shows coming to Hulu, which they posted, what was it, yesterday? And I was I was in shock that the people that they got to write these shows is unreal.
Yeah.
It's crazy, the people that they got to.
Yeah. Patton Oswalt is doing MODOK. I just want to see that. I think that's going to be nuts. And then Kevin Smith's doing Howard the Duck.
Yep, Kevin Smith and the guy who did Aqua Teen Hunger Force. They're like doing it.
Yep. I didn't know he was part of that. Oh, no, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I believe he also voices Meatwad, too. He created it, and he voices Meatwad, I believe.
Well, there's 4 of them, right?
Yep.
4 cartoons.
So you got MODOK,
Howard.
You have Tigra and Dazzler, which is going to be written by Chelsea Handler. And then you have Hit Monkey.
Oh, that's it. Yeah.
But I forget who is writing Hit Monkey.
Oh, but still, geez, Hit Monkey. God, I remember getting that Build-A-Figure a couple years ago. Like, what the hell is this Hit Monkey?
Yeah, well, when they posted who was going to be, these all these characters, I was like, wait a minute. I love Howard the Duck. I thought Chip Zdarsky did such a great job on him a couple years ago when he had his run on Howard. It was awesome. And when I heard that, I was like, all right. And then MODOK, then you have Dazzler, who's always kind of been that cult classic X-Men that everybody loves.
Yeah.
And MODOK, I feel like MODOK's this funny, weird character that a lot of people really love because he's just such a weird, creepy-looking dude. But
I know. I drew a MODOK the other night because I love that character because he's so freaking weird-looking. And I posted it on Monday morning and that afternoon. Someone's like, dude, did you know they were making a MODOK cartoon when you drew that picture? I'm like, what are you talking about? So, I was shocked.
you popped it out right before they announced it. So Hit Monkey is Josh Gordon and Will Speck.
I don't know those guys.
I don't know. I've never. Well, it's not Josh Gordon, the football player. I'll tell you that.
Let's hope not.
Right? Him writing Hit Monkey.
That would be weird.
Well,
we'll find out. But when do they actually start, though? I mean, they announced the production, but I'm like, okay, when can I see this stuff?
I'm gonna say probably next year. I would say.
I hate waiting for stuff. This killing me to wait for the Infinity War Endgame. It's killing me. The Avengers, killing me.
We will definitely we'll get
So
get there.
Hulu's getting a bunch of shows, while Netflix losing a bunch of shows. Kind of weird. but,
So we've talked a bunch about the Netflix losing them, but we haven't talked
Yeah.
with you about them. So, what out of the last couple seasons? Like I think the last time we talked was Iron Fist, where we both said it was a
Iron Fist
improvement.
2, yeah, that was okay.
It was an
good.
improvement, but it still wasn't great. It was all right. It was an
Right,
improvement.
right, it's all
But so, what did you think about Luke Cage season 2?
I like season 1 better, but season 2 was okay.
So for me,
kinda
I
dragged
thought
out.
that the ending of making him a crime boss kind of ruined the
Yeah.
season. That just took. I was just like, ugh.
Yeah, I didn't like the ending when he was in charge of the nightclub. I was like, oh really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was not a fan of that
Daredevil
decision.
3. I think Daredevil, out of all the shows, Punisher included, Daredevil was the best of the whole lot.
Yes.
And they
Oh,
never went wrong with him. Season 1 was great. Season 2 was better. Season 3 was insane. It's like Daredevil was perfect. If they could just keep one, just do that one.
So the guy writing Hit Monkey, one of the guys,
Yeah.
Will Speck, he was the director of Blades of Glory, The Switch, and Office Christmas Party.
Oof, Office Christmas Party was bad.
Yeah,
So he's had
that's
bad.
okay.
Blades of Glory was okay.
That was the ice skating picture
Yeah.
with Will Ferrell and Napoleon Dynamite, John Heater.
Yeah,
It
that
was
was
okay.
all right.
And
but-
then was Switch the one with Ryan Reynolds and Jason Bateman, where they switch bodies? Probably.
It was Jason Bateman and Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, it was?
Yeah,
Really?
that's
oh,
what it
no.
says here.
I'm thinking of
Yeah,
I'm thinking of another one, I guess, that had Ryan Reynolds in it. But no, okay, whatever.
probably not a good movie either. I don't see good ratings
Well,
for it.
again, Hit Monkey's not like Spider-Man. I
No.
mean, maybe they'll do something with it that we weren't expecting.
The premise is a snow monkey mentored by the ghost of an American assassin cuts through Tokyo's underworld in this darkly cinematic and brutally funny revenge saga.
If you say so. All right, well, we got that.
So
You
what?
know what? I was going to say, forget that nonsense. Let's talk about the real shows coming on. You got the Disney, what is it called? The Disney app? Do they have a name for it yet?
Disney Plus is what they're gonna call
Is
it.
that what it's going to be called? Disney
Yeah.
Plus? Okay.
Yeah,
All right. You're gonna have Loki starring Tom Hiddleston. Done.
which he's
Watching
supposedly
that.
dead, so I don't know how that's happening.
Well, maybe Tales of Loki. Or
Oh
something.
yeah,
I
that
don't
could
know,
be
like
it.
Loki goes out and gets a new car. I don't know. So then you're going to have the best one, is I can't wait, is the Winter Soldier and Falcon.
Buddy comedy,
The odd
yeah.
couple. Oh my God, that's insane! The two of them, I'm like, are you? Just the concept alone makes me laugh.
And then you have the love story between
Scarlet
Scarlet
Witch,
Witch and
yeah.
Vision, which
Yeah,
again they're all dead characters, so I don't know how they're doing it, but
Yeah.
they're kind of ruining the movies. But we'll see what happens.
yeah, they do. They show up. You're like, oh, Scarlet Witch. Yeah, okay, whatever.
But the only
But,
thing about those shows is I heard that they're only going to be 6-episode miniseries.
Yeah, 6 or 7. Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
6 or 8 episodes. That's about it. Yeah.
So yeah, it's pulling me in. I want to see them.
That
but
might be better though.
you think so?
6 to 8 as
Yeah,
opposed to
'cause
the
I-
usual
yeah.
12 to 13 that we're used to. Like I could use a change. 6 to 8 might
Yeah,
be better.
Okay.
Yeah, the Netflix ones, they drag on too long. I mean, I'll
agree.
look at the thing going, oh my God, 13 episodes, you're killing me. And then even some of them, I think Luke Cage 2 was only 10, and maybe Iron Fist was 10. There's always a part of them that just drags. You're like, oh, Jesus, God, you could cut 2 or 3 of these episodes out. No one's going to miss it.
Except for except for Daredevil, I feel.
Daredevil was
Right.
good when they did the Karen Page story, which I thought was going to suck, but it was actually really good.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad if anything, that was maybe the only episode you could say was a snoozer if you wanted to make a case for that. But
it wasn't as bad as some of the other ones they've done, where you're like, "Oi, what is this?"
so, what did you think about the Punisher? So, Jason here wasn't a fan of season 2. How did you feel about season 2?
I hated season 2.
Okay, so
Literally
it
hated
is
it.
really that bad, huh?
It's like the people that made it didn't even watch the first season. Like, did you not see the show? Do you not know what's going on here?
It was so disappointing.
He was over the top, and he was doing stuff that I'm like, wow, the Punisher's an a-hole. You know, when he was torturing another vet with a knife through the guy's hand, and I'm like, wait, why? What are you doing that for, you jerk? You know, was not sympathetic. It started off okay. Like, he was in the bar, and, you know, he breaks up a fight, and he helps the waitress. Okay, that's good. But it quickly just fell apart, and it just meandered forever. I'm trying to even think of the storyline.
I mean, I told John that that's the kind of season you, out of the 12 or 13 episodes, you could only watch 3 or 4, and you could get the whole story because there was so much filler.
It took forever for me to get. Usually, I fly through these if they're good. The first Punisher, I think I was up to 4 in the morning watching it because I was like, I got to see what happens next. This is so good. This one, it came on Friday. It was snowing out. It was during that polar Arctic blast thing we had. Yeah. And I'm like, well, I'm not going anywhere. I'll watch Punisher all weekend. This is going to be great. So I started watching it on Friday. I only got through 2 or 3 episodes. I'm like, I'm going to go do something else. Saturday, maybe 1 or 2, and then Sunday, maybe 1. It took me a full week. And the only reason why I finished it, because I was like, maybe it gets better at the end. Like, maybe the last 2 episodes are really great. Nah, it never got good. It was torturous. It was punishing me to watch that. So, I was like, what crime did I commit? Why is Frank Castle doing this to me? And even Bernthal looked like he was tired of it. He's really a good actor, and he's great as a Punisher, but he looked just there's no life in it. It was like, okay.
I haven't watched it myself yet, just because everyone's been telling me it's so bad. So I'm kind of just like, I don't know if I can do it.
There's parts of it that just don't make sense, dude. I mean, you're watching it going, okay, I'm not ruining anything for you. He gets set up to go to a gymnasium that's full of these Russian mafia guys, okay, and these big bodybuilder guys. And he knows it's a setup.
Of course.
But he goes anyway. And then there's this whole aspect to the Punisher where the reason why he's on the edge is he wants to die. There's he lost his family, lost his wife and kids. He has nothing to live for. So that's what makes him so dangerous, because he doesn't give a crap. He'll come at you and not stop because he's got nothing to live for. That's it. He's like a pit bull. Once he's locked onto you, he ain't going to let go when he bites you. He's going to hold on to you. You chop his head off or something. So you got this guy who wants to die. He walks into this gym with all these bodybuilder guys. They start beating the living hell out of him. He knows it's a setup. But then he goes full out crazy and he kills them all, or beats them up, and it pretty much hits guys over the heads with dumbbells and weights and all that stuff. And then he goes, I knew it was a setup. And he just walks out. You're like, wait a minute. That's just dumb. That makes no sense, okay? I know you want to die, but why would you go into this fight that really has nothing to do with the story at all at the end? I'm watching him, and it's the stunt work. He's throwing weights around. He's beating guys up. He's hitting them over the head with free weights. And I'm like, okay. Why are we doing this? It's just stupid, man. It was just bad. I mean, I'd really like to sit down with the writers and go, why'd you do this? Great season 1. Couldn't wait for season 2. Now I never want to see it again.
Disappointing.
Yeah.
Disappointing. And then the very end of it, I'm sorry, John, I'm not going to ruin it too.
No, go ahead. It's fine if you do.
No, the very closing end, he's in the real Punisher outfit from the comics.
Finally?
With the skull, with a trench coat and machine guns blazing. I'm like, why didn't you do this 13 hours ago?
Right, exactly.
The character. Yeah.
So it sounds to me like it's like a tale of two stories or something. That's what it sounds like to me.
As Iron Fist 1 was, and then it got good in number 2. The opposite happened to Punisher. Punisher 1, great. Punisher season 2, don't even waste your time.
So disappointing.
Yeah.
So one thing we missed about the animated shows, so all 4 of those shows are going to team up in a show called The Offenders.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of cute. Yeah, I saw that. Like The Defenders.
Yeah, I think those animated shows will be good. So I
But
guess
did they announce? I was going to say, did they announce that the Punisher got canceled yet from Netflix? Because they canceled Daredevil, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage. Did they cancel the Punisher as well?
So they didn't officially cancel it yet, and I heard that they were like debating if they were going to do another season or not.
Ugh.
But I don't know. It figures the show that is like a crap fest. They're like, let's give him a little.
Yeah,
bit
they'll give him another shot.
Yeah, Daredevil's really good. Let's cancel that one.
Yeah.
Punisher 2 sucks. Let's,
I thought
we'll keep that one.
I thought Daredevil season 3 was so good, and I was worried that they were going to do the same thing Luke Cage did and the same thing that Iron Fist did with the last episode. They just kind of do this weird twist and slap you in the face.
Yeah.
And I was like, if he kills the Kingpin, I'm done. If he kills the Kingpin, I'm out of here. Like, they can't have him kill the Kingpin. And oh man, they ended it perfectly. I thought it was so
think there's a
good.
Jessica Jones season 3 coming, isn't there?
Yep, it's coming soon. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's another one I could care less about. I just don't like that character. Maybe it's not the character. I just don't like the actress's portrayal. I just don't like that. Kristen Ritter, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kristen Ritter.
Yep.
She's just like miserable. I mean,
She really is.
Just
Well, I mean,
joyless. It's just,
The character is kind of miserable, anyways, in a way.
Oh, I understand that, but she doesn't. I don't know. She was actually funny in The Defenders. There were some bits that she had that she was funny. So I'm like, oh, okay, maybe if they had a little humor now and then, just a little bit. No, it's just no.
So let me pose
Doesn't
this
work.
question to you: do you think
David
that
Tennant though was great? As
yes,
the villain.
as the
But that-
Purple Man, wonderful, fantastic.
Oh, unbelievable! He was every time he was on in that Patsy Walker, another great part of the show. I liked her. Just couldn't stand Kristen Ritter. That's all.
So, a question I want to pose to you is, if Hulu does revive the shows, because they announced, I think today or yesterday, that the head of Hulu's like, hey, I'm down for bringing back these shows. I'll bring them
Wait,
back.
Hulu's going to take them? Hulu's going to take them from Netflix?
So here's what Disney's doing. Disney has a 60 or 40% ownership of Hulu once they get the Fox
Right.
rights. So what they're going to do is they're going to have their Disney Plus, which is going to be all their Disney movies, all the movies they got from Fox and stuff. But their adult-oriented stuff, like their adult shows, are going to go on Hulu. That's why they're putting these animated shows, because they're going to be adult animated shows. So if they get back, if they decide to continue The Punisher and Daredevil and all these shows, it would go on Hulu because it wouldn't fit on Disney Plus. So the head of Hulu came out, I think, this morning and was like, hey, I'm down to revive them. Everybody wants them. I want them. But the problem is Netflix owns the sole rights to the first 3 seasons. So I don't see Disney saying, all right, yeah, you can have season 4 on your network or season 3 on your network.
Yeah.
But then you'd have to go on Netflix to watch the first 3 seasons if you were under a rock and didn't watch them yet.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't see Disney doing that. And then if they reboot them, you already have the perfect Daredevil. Like the actors, I feel for the most part are all perfect for the roles. You already have the perfect Luke Cage. You already have the perfect Iron Fist. You already have I thought he was pretty good. You didn't? You weren't a fan?
I guess.
I feel like they did really good with majority of the characters.
Yeah.
And
Colleen Wing was great. I liked her.
Yeah.
I think she was great.
like I just wouldn't want to see them recast it. If you recast Daredevil, I wouldn't watch it. Charlie Cox is
No, Charlie Cox is great.
oh, he's perfect. Just perfect.
Foggy was good.
Yeah.
Karen Page. That whole cast was great. Kingpin, can't beat that. D'Onofrio's the best.
Yeah, he had some of the best monologues I think of something I've ever
Really did.
the best monologues ever. Like he was amazing.
Oh yeah, and I love his delivery too. When he's and he's just like breathing the word. It's great.
Yeah.
Whenever he's talking, it's like, I can't do it, but I can hear it in my head. You know.
Yep,
the way
yes.
it delivers like,
That Toronto like
Yeah.
Mr. Nelson. Yeah, he's just
Yeah,
he's so
yeah,
good.
yeah.
He's so
Yeah,
good.
so good.
Really
He's
is perfect.
quiet. He doesn't scream. Even when he's screaming, when he's mad at things, he's like you. Or he never goes. I want to go watch it now. Just talking about, it. I'm like, you know what? Let's go. I'm gonna after this. I will put it back on because he's great.
And
he's just a phenomenal actor.
They had me so hyped up for Bullseye. I'm like, I'm gonna get Bullseye next
Yeah,
season.
I
He's
didn't
coming.
See that coming at all. I did not see it. I was like, oh my God, that's Bullseye, you know?
The only reason I figured it was him, because obviously they changed his name, because he's normally just Lester.
No, the baseball cap when he was a little kid. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's
flashback.
That's the only reason I knew it was going to be him, because that was his origin. He killed his baseball coach. I was like, all right, this guy's going to be Bullseye.
I had totally forgotten that stuff. I was like, wait, what? Oh my.
Yeah, I was. Oh man, I was
love
so
when they bring these
excited.
characters on there because that means the back issue of those books goes skyrocket.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
Oh, $1. That's a dollar bin book. Oh my God, he's on TV. $400 later. What? What happened?
So I guess the question I was going to pose to you is, if they come to Hulu, would that be enough? If you don't have Hulu, like I don't have a Hulu account. But if they brought those shows,
I have Hulu, but I don't even watch the Marvel stuff that's on it. They have the Runaways.
right? Yeah, I haven't. Yeah,
I watched 2 episodes of it and I gave up.
I got no interest in that really. But if they brought the shows back, would you go and watch them? Would you watch them on Hulu?
If I didn't have it, I'd go and buy it just to get Daredevil. Yeah.
Me too. I really hope they bring them back.
I'm going to tell you something. I have the DC Universe app. Okay.
Yeah. I'm hesitant on getting it.
Worst app ever designed.
Oh, well, there you go.
Well, there you go.
It only works on my iPhone or the iPad, which I don't like watching movies on. We had it when the kids were here, the iPad. And I have a smart TV, but it doesn't have the
smart app
for it. I have to go out and buy a Roku box, or I have to go get a Fire Stick from Amazon to plug it in so then I can stream the DC Universe app through it. I'm like, you know what? Screw you. I'm not buying more crap.
Yeah.
I pay you $7 a month to buy your service, and I have to watch it on my laptop. And then my son comes home from college and, Dad, here's how to transfer your laptop to the TV so you can watch. It's like going to the moon.
Yeah.
I don't need to go through this rigmarole just when I want to watch the Teen Titans show. It's like, wait, I should be able to press a button and I pay for Netflix. I don't have to go through hoops to get that to work. But the DC app, they should have waited before they launched it and made sure it works on all these platforms. Like you could put your smart TV on and bang, there's the app. I have a PlayStation 4. So I'm thinking, maybe I can download the app onto my PlayStation and watch it through there. Nope, won't work. My kids had Xbox One. Nope, won't work. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, that's just awful.
It's not good.
Because I watched the Titans. I don't know, you haven't seen it, but the Titans was pretty decent.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty good.
And then Doom Patrol starts this week, and Doom Patrol was actually so weird. It was great. It was like off the wall, like a Tim Burton movie, man. So. And
then they're supposed to be doing a Swamp Thing show, and Swamp Thing's one of my favorite characters. So that alone, I'm kind of like, all right, I really want to see Swamp Thing, so maybe I'll get it. And I really want to see the 3rd season of Young Justice. I thought that was one of the best, animated shows ever.
It's kind of like the Paramount CBS network. I watched it for like a month just to watch that whole Star Trek.
Right.
And then once I was done watching, I canceled it. I'm like, okay. So for 1 month, I just watched, I think it was 13 episodes of Star Trek Discovery. But they drive you crazy because then at Christmas time, a friend of mine bought the Star Trek Discovery Season 1 on Blu-ray for like $20. So I'm like, so why buy these stupid services?
You're right, if you can just get them
$9 a month, when if you just wait 6 months, even Daredevil, you could buy the DVDs or the Blu-rays if you really want for like $20. So you don't even have to get Netflix, but you just have to wait a while for it.
I remember when, in the beginning, they didn't put it out on DVD. Or it took a really long time. Like, they were like, if you want to watch it, you can only watch it here on Netflix. Yep. But now they're like, all right, we'll put them out on DVD. So it's kind of like, if you want to wait. But
it's not. And because the thing is, like you said about Netflix, get rid of them and cancel them. How long is that going to be on Netflix? It's like, nobody buys DVDs or Blu-rays anymore. That's old technology. But here's the thing. If Netflix decides tomorrow they don't want to show The Punisher anymore, they don't want to show Daredevil, how are you ever going to watch it again?
So reading this thing from the vice president of Hulu, I guess the thing is they can't do anything with the characters for 2 years after cancellation.
Ugh.
So
it's a long time, man.
Yeah, it's a long time. So
because the you're into the shows now, you want to watch it. Okay, that's 2018. If I don't see it till 2020 or 2021, I don't know what I'll be into 3 years from now or 2 years from now. I might not give a damn.
You
know?
figure most shows take a year or two to come out anyways, but they would have to like immediately get on them and but I don't even know if they can start even planning or doing. And then you got to figure, are the actors just going to stay idle and not sign on any? I don't know if their contracts
I mean, you're going to wait for that phone to ring?
Right.
No.
I don't know if the contracts, they're contractually obligated to be like, hey, if we want to do Daredevil, you got to do it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which I still don't. I'm so mad about that still because first one's great. Second one, I love Guardians of the Galaxy. Second one, and then James Gunn gets in trouble last July,
which was so stupid.
Yeah,
so dumb.
I don't even want to get into it. It's ridiculous. They knew about these tweets. He told them he did it. They hired him anyway years ago, so all is forgiven. And then they decide on a dime, oh no, we're taking that back, and now you're fired. But wait, you already knew about this. Yeah, we know, but you're fired now.
Stupid.
What? So stupid. So then the Guardians, because we had Palm Clementif, who was Mantis, she was at our show.
Right.
In August. They were all supposed to start filming. Sean Gunn, I talked to him now and then. That's his brother, James Gunn, the director. He was Rocket Raccoon, and he's also Kraglin, the guy that works with the Michael Rooker's Yondu. They were all set to go back to work in September.
And they stopped
the one that just passed. And they shelved it, and then they released everybody from their contracts, Disney did, because you had actors ready to go, you had crew, you had lighting guys. It's like a job. You got a contract. You're going to do this job starting in September to do Guardians 3. So Disney released all the actors and all the crew from their contract obligations, and because there's no movie. And then they said, oh, we're going to do it again in 2021.
Yeah, because...
And I'm thinking to myself, that's... What, 2 years from now?
Right.
Mm-hmm. You're going to start that? And Guardians 2 came out 2017?
Yeah.
So that's 4 years in between movies. It's almost like the momentum's gone,
So I'll say this. If it's a movie that's good enough, I'll wait. Just like Daredevil, I'd wait the 2 years, I'd be fine. The other shows I don't think would last.
Yeah.
But if it's good enough...
the script that he wrote.
Right, but... So what the reason why I think they cut the movie is because they wanted the guy who did Thor Ragnarok to take over as director.
But he's not doing it.
He said he wouldn't do it because James is his buddy, and he felt like that was disrespectful, so he wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So once he said no, they're like, all right, we don't have another director. We're out.
Yep.
We got to push the movie back. So that's a big hit, I think.
I don't know who they're going to get. They're not. I mean, who's clever enough to do that?
So
Sam Raimi. Bring Sam Raimi back.
So I'll say this. I'll wait a couple more years for another Guardians, but it better be fantastic.
Better be good.
It better be amazing.
Well, it was going to be the final part anyway. It was going to be the third and final Guardians movie, so...
Yeah, I think they'd do something else to maybe keep Chris Pratt in there or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it depends after the Avengers Endgame, because you'll still see the Guardians in that movie.
Right. So let's talk about Endgame.
Okay.
I know you posted on Facebook.
My theory about what happened.
So say your theory on air. Tell us your theory, because I think I think you're onto something. What it was
is the real Thanos, was looking for the Infinity Gauntlet. Everything's fine. He goes to, I can't remember the name of the planet. That's the place that the Soul Stone's at.
Right. With the planet that has Red Skull trapped on it.
Yeah. Okay, so he gets to the planet with Gamora, and they go there, and there's the Red Skull who's floating like some kind of weird ghost thing because he's been there so long. He's learned all to say, "Welcome Thanos," and "Welcome Gamora," blah blah blah. And he knows everything about the Soul Stone, and he tells them, once I looked for the Infinity Gems, and a lifetime ago. So he's been trapped there apparently after he left Captain America: First Avenger. He's been stuck on this planet. Maybe, we don't know. So he's come to learn everything. Obviously, he's learned, one, how to stay alive after all these years, because he wasn't frozen in ice like Steve Rogers was. Two, he's floating. So he's got like magic powers now. I'm like, wait, what's going on here? Why is the Red Skull floating in air? And then he tells Thanos the only way to get the Soul Stone is, he goes, I can't get it. I've tried, but I can't get it. But if you want it, you have to give a soul for a soul. So you have to sacrifice somebody to get access to the Soul Stone. Okay, that's what he tells them. And then Thanos looks at Gamora, and he throws her off the cliff. And then here's where it gets weird. She goes off the abyss there. She's crushed on the bottom. Thanos wakes up in like this pool of water. He just like wakes up, and he's having a flashback to Gamora when she's a little kid. And the sky, if you watch that, he wakes up, it's almost like an orange sky.
Yeah.
And it's the color of the Soul Stone, which was an orange-colored gem.
Yep.
And Thanos wakes up in this water thing, and he's like, "Oh, what am I doing here?" He's like, "Oh, I've got the Infinity Gauntlet now. I've got the Soul Gem." So from that point there, he goes back to Titan, and then he has the fight with, Tony Stark and those guys.
Yep.
But here's where it gets weird. When Thanos goes there to get the Soul Stone, when he goes there, the Red Skull's like, "Welcome, Thanos." He goes, "How do you know who I am?" And he goes, "Oh, I know many things," or something like that. So the Red Skull has some ability to know things already. They get that he knows who they are. When Tony Stark meets Thanos, Thanos goes, "Oh, Stark." And Tony Stark goes, "How do you know who I am?" He goes, "Oh, I know lots of things." So weird that Thanos already knows Tony Stark's name. So that's why I was like, wait a second, how does he know who he is? They've never gone out in this galaxy. How would Thanos know who Tony Stark is? But just like the Red Skull knew who Thanos was. So I'm like, wait a minute, maybe that's not Thanos right there. Maybe he's used the Reality Stone or something happened where he switched places with them. Because here's the big thing at the end. When Thor shows up with that axe and he gets him in the chest, he's like, "You should have gone for the head." And then when Thanos snaps his fingers and wipes out half the galaxy, Thanos wakes up in that orange gem thing again. And the first thing he does, he looks at his chest because there was, that axe was just in it. And wait, he's like, where's the axe? I thought I was killed. And there's the little Gamora again, comes up to him like, "Did you do it? Did you do it? What did it cost you?" He's like, "Everything." And then they flash back to Thanos with Thor back on the Earth. And if you look at him, he still had the axe in his chest. His arm is all burnt and messed up. The Infinity Gauntlet's all melted into his hand because he used all that energy to wipe out the galaxy or something.
Yeah.
And then he disappears. And then you see Thanos sitting there at the end looking at the grass grow on some planet, and, they think they lost. So here's what I think. When he does the snap, all our heroes, nobody died. I think they all get transported into the Soul Gem. All the dead heroes are not physically dead. When they turn to ash, it was like they got beamed out, and they're inside the Soul Gem, just like Thanos is. And Thanos needs to team up with all the supposed dead heroes and fight their way out of the Soul Gem, fight the Red Skull, who's really running. I think it's the Red Skull's going to turn out to be the real bad guy. And Thanos turns out to be almost like a hero because he's the one that actually saves the day at the end. Maybe he sacrifices himself to save the whole galaxy or whatever like that.
Which kind of happens in the original Infinity Gauntlet, where he kind of, at the end, he's like, "All right, I'm going to help you guys out."
Yep.
I think
so that's what I think is going to happen.
I think that's the best theory that I've heard.
And the last thing that tells me it's Thanos is the good guy is at the end of all the Marvel movies, it always says Thor will return, Captain America will return, Ant-Man will return. At the end of this one, it said Thanos will return.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, why are you putting the name of the bad guy on the thing where usually you put the name of the heroes? Like, it's always like Iron Man will return, Spider-Man. That's the heroes because Thanos is going to turn out to be the hero of the story. So they're trying to fool you with this Captain Marvel nonsense.
Yeah.
I think she shows up, but I don't think she's the one that really saves the day. I think actually Ant-Man might probably be the one that turns out to be the big savior because you don't see it coming. You think he's the throwaway guy.
So I got a theory. I got a theory about him, but we'll get to that in a second.
that he got sucked into a time vortex.
Right, so I think he's a Skrull. I don't think that's really Ant-Man. Like the one you see in the
Something
trailer.
happens when he shrinks down in the Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Right.
Michelle Pfeiffer as Janet Van Dyne. She says, "Be careful. You don't want to get stuck in a time stream or a quantum stream or something, and we won't be able to get you out." And then, of course, they disappeared with the snap.
So he's stuck.
Floating there. And then he shows up in Captain America and the Avengers. He's knocking on the door.
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, it's me. It's Ant-Man." Obviously, he got out of there because there's the van.
Or is he a Skrull?
Or is he a Skrull, or did he travel through time?
Yeah, I don't know. But
I don't know. But I definitely think Thanos is really the hero of the story, and you just don't think it's coming.
So I think your theory is the most sound theory I've heard I've heard so many online and everything. But why would they show you Red? What was the reason of having Red Skull there? It was almost pointless.
I know.
Like, why is he there unless he's took Thanos' place and he's Thanos right now? Like, he's the Thanos
He's
we
an
saw at the
established
end.
Villain. Yeah, everybody knows he's a bad guy, you know?
And it would do that full circle thing like, oh, you know, he was in the beginning and now he's the main bad guy at the end, kind of.
Yeah,
So,
because you'd have no problem with him being the bad guy because he was a jerk, you know? It's like, oh, that's a Nazi, you know. And in the comics, he was always trying to take over everything, too. Before Thanos, the Red Skull always had the cosmic cube.
right.
And he was always trying to alter reality and become the supreme, you know, leader of the universe and stuff. Those were always in the Captain America books, you know? But there's in Thanos being stuck in the Soul Gem was a Jim Starlin story where Adam Warlock was stuck inside the Soul Gem.
Yep.
He was trapped inside there. They all thought they were dead, but they were actually alive in another reality, but they were inside the freaking gem. They were living in it.
It definitely looked like at the end, even I thought at the end, I'm like, he's trapped in the Soul Gem. It makes perfect sense. Like,
Yeah.
I thought at the end.
Yeah, because it's that weird shot when he's looking at his chest.
Yep.
Because there's no accident. I'm like, wait a second, why is he, what's going on here? It's kind of like the physical body's fighting Thor, but the soul, the real Thanos, whatever you want to call it, the energy, is stuck inside the Soul Gem. Even so, while his body's getting beat up and killed in reality, the other soul is feeling it. You know,
Right.
that's why he's looking at his chest like, oh, geez, I just got killed. And
Or
like,
you
oh,
have
nothing here.
you have Red Skull like inside his body or something.
Yeah, like using him as a puppet. Because
Yeah.
he's got the reality stone. Remember when they went to the collector's place
Yeah.
over on Nowhere?
So he
And
can
there
look
was
like
the
anything.
guy- Yeah, and he was dead because he actually, when they landed, they thought they were there, but then when he leaves, you find out that he burned the place to the ground. There's nothing left to it.
I,
You know?
I think
He
that
destroyed
theory's
culture.
legit. So, Mitch, we're winding
Well, we
down
got-
here. Last
we got
thing to
80
talk
days.
about. Last thing to talk about is they announced that they were going to have a new Batman movie. He's going to be more
Yeah.
detective-like. They want to go younger. So
Yeah.
me and Jason threw out our Batmans. We went with a younger guy. Jason
Okay.
thought that the kid from Gotham would be a good Batman, and I thought the guy who was the villain in The Punisher, I thought he would be a good.
Oh, he'd be a good. Oh, the villain in the Punisher, the TV show.
Yes,
Yeah, Billy Russo.
The guy that plays Jigsaw.
he would be my pick for a new
Huh.
Batman. He would be my pick. I think they have a photo, like he posted a photo up of him in like
Yeah.
the suit holding the cowl, and he looks so good. I'm just like,
Well, they
oh,
always said John. They always said John Hamm, but I think he's too old.
too old, way too old.
Or
yeah.
They,
way
they-
too old to be
they-
Batman.
So right now the rumor is the front runner is Robert Pattinson,
I saw that.
which
I don't
is
know why.
awful.
Ugh.
Yeah, no, he's not a good Batman.
So if you could pick anybody, who would you cast as the new detective Batman?
Henry Cavill, that'll screw everybody up. No, let's see, who would be a good Batman? Huh? Who would be a good Batman? I'm trying to think of all the TV shows. You know who might be good, but he's not a big star quality guy? Do you remember the guy that was on S.H.I.E.L.D. that played the double agent one? He was the good guy, and then he flipped out to be Hydra.
Yes, Grant Ward.
Grant Ward, yeah, he's a good-looking guy. He can pull off that, like,
Oh
Bruce
man,
Wayne. He's young enough. Yeah, he's like in his mid-20s or so. He'd be okay.
Hold on. That's
but we're
actually
talking
really
movie.
good. Brett Dalton is his
movie.
name.
Yeah, Brett Dalton. Yeah, if it was a TV show, he'd be good.
He's 36.
want-
Yeah, he's like the perfect age.
Yeah, but they want a movie star. They want somebody.
Yeah,
that
they
people
want
are
a
crazy
name.
for.
They want a name.
Yeah, that's why they're going with Pattinson because.
Oh, I hope
He's,
it's not. I hope
the
they
big
don't
name.
pick him.
Ugh.
That would be awful if they pick him.
No, they will because they want somebody that people recognize. You know?
Ugh, gross. I don't know. I think he's awful. I think
Yeah.
he's an awful actor. He looks nothing like Bruce Wayne. I don't think he could do an action movie. Granted,
No.
it's supposed to be more focused on the detective work, but he's still going to have to fight people. I
Yeah.
just think it's going to be it's going to be really cheesy. And DC's had this issue where they want to go with the home run, so they just pick the biggest name, and it's been hurting them. It's like, go with a lesser known guy that looks the role and can act the role. The original guy I wanted to be Batman when they were casting Ben Affleck was Scott Adkinson.
Scott Adkinson. What movie was he in?
He was in like Undisputed in those movies. Was it
All right. All right.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
trying to think of what other movies have there been that you could really think of.
I lied. It's Scott
Nobody-
Adkins, not Atkinson.
Nobody in the new Star Wars movies.
No.
Can't be nobody there. I'm trying to think what other big action movies are there now. Nothing really. How about the guy that played was it Stallone's son in the last? No, who's the guy that played in what was it? Die Hard movies? Didn't they have a kid that played his son?
Oh, I don't know. I
Was
didn't
he
see.
the guy that was? I think he was the. I don't know. There was somebody that was also in Suicide Squad. That actor. I don't know really. I really don't know. I mean, it's really a tough call because you got to get somebody who's physically big to
Yeah.
play it, but they want a marquee name. That's
They
why
want-
they get.
What they want is a marquee or someone that's known,
How about Casey Affleck? He's too scrawny.
someone that's young that they can ride for a while. So a younger guy
Right.
with a name, and
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I know some people have been saying the guy from Game of Thrones, Jon Snow.
Oh, I've seen the photo of him.
He's
Yeah,
got the
okay.
name. I think he
Maybe.
could do it. I'd maybe, but
Yeah.
but I'd rather him over Robert Pattinson.
Oh, I agree. Yeah.
Honestly, I'd
I think
take
they
anybody
screwed
over.
up with. I also heard what's the guy's name that just did Jack Ryan? He was supposed to be Captain America
Oh,
from
John
The Office.
John
John
Krasinski.
Krasinski.
Yeah.
No, that ain't gonna happen.
No.
I'm like, come on, people, seriously, what are you thinking about?
Yeah, he's not bad.
So you got to think about this. Marvel did it took so many risks with all these guys. Because who was
Yeah.
Chris Evans before Captain America? He was some
He was
guy
the Human Torch.
who
Yeah.
the Human Torch, and he made dumb teen
another teen
movies.
movie,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
Teen
dumb.
movie. Yeah, not on a teen movie.
And
yeah.
they took a risk with him, and he's the perfect Captain America. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't think of
And
anybody
Thor,
else.
Yeah, Thor was a nobody.
Saint,
Nobody.
yep.
You know?
Yep.
And Robert Downey Jr. was an addict who was basically his career was
Yeah.
over.
Oh yeah, they couldn't even insure him. Yeah, they didn't want to touch him.
So they took all
no
these
problem.
risks, and I think that's what DC needs to do. They need to.
And Chris Pratt was a chubby guy from an NBC comedy show.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
He never really did any crazy movies or anything. He was a sitcom guy.
Yeah.
They hit all these home runs. DC's just so focused on the name that I think that they need to go with a guy that's proven to be a good actor on a show or something like that. So that's why I think the guy from The Punisher would be perfect. That would be your guy.
Like Batman.
I think he'd be the villain
Yeah,
from The
that's
Punisher.
Billy Russo. Yeah.
I
I'll
think-
go with that.
I think he'd be the guy. I think he'd be a good Bruce Wayne. I think he'd be a good. He's a little skinny right now, but I think he could bulk up. He's not like too
Well,
small.
I'm trying to think of what's the guy's name on Arrow? Steve Amell.
So
I didn't picture him as Green Arrow, but he's
right.
fine now.
So
What's
someone that I was thinking of is his cousin Robbie Amell.
Oh yeah, Robbie Amell would be good.
He
Yeah.
looks very Bruce Wayne-ish.
But again, that's in their mind that's a TV guy.
Right.
They're not going to touch a
And
TV
I
guy.
think if they should give a TV guy a chance because that's how it's gonna happen. I guess I don't know, but
Yeah, like the guy that's in Preacher that played Howard Stark.
Yes.
He's too small. He's too old.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I think they need someone in their like
It's not
mid-30s.
Yeah, Batman's not an easy guy, man. You really have to get somebody that looks good as a rich millionaire playboy type of guy.
Yeah,
you know?
they got to look good as Batman and as
Bruce Wayne.
right.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's definitely tough.
I mean, Christian Bale was actually pretty good when you think about it.
Yeah, a lot of people have been
He
hoping
pulled
that
it
he
off.
would come back, but I think that ship sailed.
Yeah.
I think they made a mistake by making Batman supposed to be like the older Batman.
Yeah.
Like they put the gray in Ben Affleck's hair. I'm like, what are you doing? You know, and then they totally forgot about that towards the end of Justice League. It's like, wait, I thought he was supposed to be like old Frank Miller Batman, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like Aquaman. They totally threw all that out the window, all that Justice League stuff. I'm like, this
Yeah,
doesn't line up to the Justice League movie, you know?
they just brush over it real quick. Oh, didn't
And
you?
don't even get me going on Aquaman. How that movie made $1 billion is beyond me. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
They tried too hard
stupid.
to be Thor Ragnarok.
I called it Splash Gordon. It looked like Flash Gordon underwater.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh,
I-
Black Manta looked good, but at the end of the day, you're like, seriously? You can't even turn your head, man.
So,
You know,
so I thought
how do you beat Black Manta? You just go step behind him.
sidestep him. I thought he looked awesome, but they made him a bitch.
He did.
Black Mantha's
Yeah.
usually a monster. Like he's shanking dudes and killing people, and they made him
No, I
such
think
a bitch.
Yeah, and he got taken out, and he's like, that's it? And he's floating in the raft in the water at the end. I'm like, what? What happened?
Yeah.
No. It was goofy. It was a goofy movie. Totally goofy. But it made $1 billion.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
they're gonna have
DC's
sequels
most
and
successful movie ever. They already announced the sequel
yeah,
yesterday.
and they announced a spin-off too. They're gonna do a movie on the trench.
Oh, well, you know what? That was a great effect. That scene
Yeah.
when he was going underwater with that flare and there's thousands of those freaking things after him, that was like aliens underwater. I thought that was a great, visual. I don't know how you're going to drag it out for 2 hours.
Right.
but
Yeah, I don't know. That might be tough, but they're gonna do it.
It's good for 5 minutes, but, we'll see.
All right, Mitch, we're almost out of time here, so thank you for coming on
All
again.
right, well, yes, and keep checking the website. I'll be adding more guests in the
And-
days ahead,
We'll have you on right before GamerCon, so you can hype it up, and because
Sure.
we didn't talk too much about that. I'm sorry about that, but we'll
No, that's fine. That's next month, though. So if you like video games and all that stuff,
we'll
definitely
have
check
you
out.
on in March, and we'll pump
All
that
right.
and push that and get everyone to come to that. So
Yeah, and then we could talk about Captain Marvel because that'll be out by then.
Yes.
It's only 2 more weeks. 2
Yep.
weeks.
oh man, I'm
I'm not
excited.
looking forward to it, but
You're not?
It's the first time I've done. No, I really don't care about that character. Even when it was a
Yeah.
guy in the 70s.
Same.
I'm like, yeah, whatever.
I don't care about the character, but I feel the trailer was done so well that I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, they got me.
I'm more interested in seeing Nick Fury and Agent Coulson.
The younger versions, yeah.
Yeah, the younger versions. Yeah, we'll have to talk next time. We didn't even talk about Glass and that movie. I didn't care for it at all. The Bruce Willis sequel.
Oh yeah, we'll have. Yep. All right. Yeah. Well, we got a bunch. There's so much to talk about, and we.
Oh, I know. It's been a busy couple months, man. And then we got comic books. We forgot to talk
Yep.
about comic books.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll definitely get there. So
All
we'll
right.
have you on in a couple weeks, and we'll talk about everything.
You got it, John.
All right, Mitch. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure
All
having
right,
you on the
see you later.
show. That was Mitch Hallock, the creator of Terrificon, an amazing guy, one of my favorite people to talk to, someone I love always having on the show. Real quickly, guys, one thing you guys are looking forward to.
How to Train Your Dragon, February 22nd.
Really?
Probably my favorite animated movie.
I've never seen any of them.
Oh, they're so good.
I should
I
see
forgot
them.
it was coming out so soon. That's actually one
February
of my favorites, too.
22nd. Yep,
That's
I'm
right.
pumped for that.
Oh man,
I should see them.
should we go on a date?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Cool.
Mandate. We'll do a mandate to the Texas Roadhouse, and then
Yes.
we'll go see How to Train Your Dragon.
Perfect.
Yep.
Are you cheating on me, Jason?
Maybe.
Jason, just in time for Valentine's Day too.
Oh, I know. Right. Perfect.
Oh, don't you
I'm
cheat
looking
on me?
That is what I'm looking forward to, folks.
Yeah,
My
there you
mandate
go.
with Jason.
That's right.
I'm looking forward to starting the Return of Wolverine. I keep saying I'm going to read it. I haven't started yet. I've been kind of hesitant on it, but I'm going to start it this week. and I'm going to talk about it probably for what I did next week, what I consumed. That will be my what I consumed. I'll talk about the Return of Wolverine. So this has been a great episode. Thank you for everybody that commented. Thank you for everybody that listened in. Again, thank you, Mitch, for being on the show. Always a pleasure. Always fun. We're actually going to stay on time tonight. So shout out to you, Dimitri. So thank you for listening to this episode of Static Rift. You can find us here on the Go Network. Same static place, same static time. I love you all. Good night.